Hey, everybody out there in the YouTube's land. It's me, Doug, and I'm here with the one, the only Canadian Sam Squanch.
Yep, the elusive red bearded Sam Squanch.
Yeah, so it's actually been a while since we've done any kind of stream or anything together.
Yeah, probably it's probably been I'm gonna say it like 3 months maybe since last time I was on a stream.
Yeah. Well, I kind of try to lay low myself. I'm not a big streamer myself.
Yeah, I just you know how it is, man. Life happens, and I don't know. I get pretty zoned into what I'm doing, so it's kind of when things start kind of boiling over, I just put my full attention to it, man, and I don't know. I just get down to business.
Yeah, that's the way you got to do.
Absolutely, man.
But I'm really excited because Joe wrote a story for the Legends of Lone Wolf book that we're putting out, and I really like his story because it's not the same old thing everybody else is doing. It's a ray of light in a gloomy, dark world to me.
And it's funny to hear someone describe it as a story. That's, I think we'll have to use that description loosely. Well, yeah, it's been awesome, man. Uh, the artist. Do you know Doug if he wants to go by his real name or his alias?
Well, he lets me call him his real name on stream, so I guess he's cool with it.
That's cool. I was hoping that'd be the case. But yeah, James has been the most awesome dude to work with, man. You just yeah, it's refreshing. You know what I mean? When you talk to someone that's got nothing but positivity and like just it's been an amazing experience. And the story I'm doing the air quotes right now that that I was working on without the right artist, it wouldn't have made sense. It wouldn't have worked, man. There's no way because it's just chaos. And so I was really relying on the artwork to tell the story, and that's a pretty large burden to place on an artist. I think you know what I mean to write a script that's so strange that without the proper artwork, it just can't exist really. So it was pretty awesome to see how James really took it upon himself and made this happen, man. Like I basically told him like here's the general idea, and if you feel anything needs to be changed, if you have any suggestions, that is totally like that's what this is about, man. This is a cooperation. It's not a dictatorship, right? So he really took it upon himself to make the story his own, and it made me really happy. The results were sick.
Yeah, I've seen the character sketches and some of like the thumbnails and stuff he did, and it looks fantastic.
Yep, it brings me back honestly. Reminds me of when I was a kid, man. Just those all those weird little cartoons that used to come out.
Yeah,
He totally nailed that vibe, and I didn't really expect what he was about to deliver when we started working on it, man. Because I just had this vague idea of my head of what this will have to be if it's going to make sense. And he went above and beyond, and just yeah, he absolutely hammered this out of the park.
yeah. I would almost describe I'm going to do the air quote story as a cartoon in more than a comic.
Yep, that's you know what James and I talked about that a lot while we were just chatting and working and stuff, and I was just because I don't know much about the comics industry. I know very little, right? But I did watch a lot of cartoons growing up, man. Like TV, I'm like the cable guy, man. I was basically raised by the TV, and I was just saying how to James like how funny it is how ours reverted to like this old school cartoony feel, and he was saying, well, yeah, I mean it's not. It's basically like we're going back to the roots of comics because there was a lot of comedy back in the day,
Yeah,
and just the word itself, right? Comics. It just says it, and it wasn't about greediness back in the day. It was meant to be weird, quirky little stories, and like kind of pushing the limits of reality and strange little
well,
occurrences.
back in the day, it was escapism. Life was hard enough. You had to go to work, you had to go to school. Most kids actually had to work way back in the day. If they went home, they had to help do everything at home. It was rough, and comics were made to be enjoyable, not to be depressing and dark. You know,
Yep.
And I feel like you completely nailed that. You took a character who hunts monsters, and like I said, it's a dark and gloomy world. But it's like he woke up in a cartoon.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I feel like James really captured the vibe perfectly. And yeah, it's when I was describing it to him, every leap he was taking and his imagination was exactly the right way, man. It just, I felt really confident in what he was bringing to the table because I'm not an artist. I don't know what was supposed to happen here, really. I just had a vague idea in my head. And he just was making all these creative leaps that were perfect, man. He understood exactly what I was going for, and it, even more importantly, he was able to see the humor in the script, which I think the average person wouldn't have seen it, right? Because it totally relies on mental imagery to be able to make
Yeah,
it funny. And so the fact that he was able to make his own humor when he was reading it and understand it made it it's so easy because I think in, if I were to be working with another artist, the chances would have been really high that he would have read it and not thought it was funny and tried his best to make it funny. You know what I mean? Which wouldn't have probably worked out because it just, yeah, it's so chaotic that you really need to be on the same page to create it.
and I really can't wait for people to see some of these character designs. Uh, it's just way over the top. Uh, the the main antagonist, I'm going to say, he's not really he's not really a villain or anything, but he's based on a real person, and the cartoon version of him completely nails his personality and his look all at the same time.
Yep. James took it upon himself to do heavy amounts of research. And the funny thing is, the research on this guy is, well, once people figure out who the character is, they're going to think research. Well, yeah, I told James to go check out some of his work because he didn't know too much about him. And James really got into it, man. He took this all so seriously. And I honestly, I can't thank him enough, man. This really lifted my spirits to see this come to life. And it's just such a weird idea. I couldn't be more pleased with the outcome.
One thing I really like about James is he has the drive. He wants to work. He wants to get comics out there, and it's so refreshing to work with somebody like that. Uh, you know, usually it's like some guys you have to stay on them, and you almost have to stream with them and make sure that they're doing work. But James is just like he's a go getter. He just knocks stuff out.
Yeah, he's one of those people where if you haven't talked to him in 2 weeks, there's going to be a lot of catching up to do. It's not like, in some cases, like with a lot of people I've worked with, if you haven't talked to them in 2 weeks, nothing has happened. It's just, it just kind of it dies until you talk again. And in this
Yeah,
case, it was like both of us were independently still thinking about the story and I don't know. We had it in our minds the whole time. You know what I mean? Even though we have a lot of other projects in the go, and this was intentionally supposed to be a kind of lighthearted approach, even then, we both kind of looked at it the same way where we were excited to catch up with each other. You know what I mean? And we'd end up talking for hours, man, about all kinds of stuff because me and him kind of established this early on. We were like, working on a book is kind of pointless if you don't enjoy the person's company that you're working
yeah,
with. And so
exactly.
we really took this opportunity to get to know each other and really we became good friends over the process. And it has been awesome, man, for real. And I really look forward to anything else I work with or work on with James because it's been so cool.
Yeah, for real. I know me and you and James have been toying around with another project, but once again, it goes to the back burner because of everything else. But
Yeah.
at some point, the three of us are going to have to get something together because you two guys are like some of my favorite people on the internet and in the real world.
Yeah. And I agree with that sentiment 100%, man. I think the more I think about it in the conversation we're having right now, I think whenever I get my computer business sorted out and I'm back to work here, I think a lighthearted approach might be the best bet, man, for the next thing we do.
Yeah,
Starting small like this is really a great way to do it because this was supposed to be a very inconsequential story in a way, and it turned into something we cared deeply about, right? And
Yeah,
that's the best way to do it, man. You start small and just kind of build on it, and if it's meant to be, it'll happen. And if it's not, then you'll kind of tame your expectations and just kind of get it done. And I think with the three of us, we all kind of communicate easily, and I think it'd be really easy to take a lighthearted story and kind of, I don't know, do something pretty epic with it.
yeah. I think there needs to be more of that. I know in this book, I created a character who has a tragic backstory and hunts monsters and people die, but there's more out there, and I really want to see more lighthearted action stories. Growing up, I read a lot of Spider-Man, and Spider-Man's an action book. There's a lot of action, but Spider-Man wasn't always down in the dumps. Even if things got bad for Spider-Man, it he always made jokes, and in the end, he did what was right, and it kind of got lighter, as it went on. I want to see more like Golden Age type stuff, where it's not so dark and gloomy all the time.
Yep, I think any story needs a balance, man. And I just like in my music career, I cannot stick to one thing. Like I get so bored if you know what I mean. If I was sticking to the exact same thing and just it's like, okay, well this works, so I'm going to stick to this formula and just keep doing it. I wouldn't be able to do it twice in a row, let alone 50 issues. It's
Yeah,
just it's got to change. It's got to be dynamic. And then like in the case of the Blue Book that I'm doing with Nate, it is incredibly dynamic, man. It's all over the place. Whatever a real person, which Nate and I are, I'm assuring you we're real people. But whatever we're thinking is what's being put onto page, man. We're not trying to force this universe into creation, right? It's entirely an organic process of like, there's some strange and weird stuff, a little bit of humorous stuff. There's some really complex stuff going on. There's some light, there's some darkness. It's all over the place, man. It's whatever we're feeling at that moment is what we're doing. We're not trying to force it in any direction, really.
yeah. I've been working on stuff and everything, and we haven't talked a lot about what we're doing and stuff lately. Have you been working on the Blue Book any?
Oh yeah, a little bit. Although we've been really busy with like the Flash Fiction Force and the massive Ashcan project. Plus, I kind of didn't have a choice because all the technical issues I encountered. So I really decided to go full on into helping other people get their projects going. So that's been my focus lately. But once I get my computer set up and whatever, we could really focus on the Blue Book. But um, basically, how many stories? We already put together like 5 or 6 little story arcs for the Blue Book. Like,
That's awesome.
yeah, every one of my Flash Fiction entries is actually a Blue Book entry. Just like it wasn't stated as that, but there's little codes in it, man. Where when the Blue Book finally comes out and people read it, they're like, "Wait a minute." And if they've seen the Flash Fiction stuff, they'll be like, "This totally is part of the same universe," because I put keywords that only exist within the Blue Book universe, essentially.
Yeah,
And so I loosely tied it all together, man, because I just love tying in stuff like that.
that's really cool because I know Skinny said that all of his a lot of his Flash Fiction stuff was all tying his universe together.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It started with Otis Stein,
Yeah,
then he just started building on that, man. I guess he had a similar trajectory because he also worked on a couple funny stories too. So it's yeah, yeah. I'm excited, man. There's a lot of cool stuff happening between all our friends.
yeah. I mean, that's one thing that's great because we all kind of started as just random dudes, you know, and we all started working on things, and then we all have projects, and I think that's really cool.
Yep. Yeah. When Jim Healis and I were working on some stuff, not like a book or anything, just technical stuff, and we talked for a good while. And anyways, I ended up talking about the Blue Book a bit. And then he's full on aware, like he knows me well enough, and he knows this isn't a world I'm part of, the comics thing. I just don't really, I don't know, man. It's not where, it's never really been a part of my life, honestly, till now.
Yeah,
And he thought it was pretty funny that I just like I don't read them, man. I don't read anything. I'm an idiot like that. I don't like reading. And he just thought that was hilarious. I'm like, but Jim, I like making things. Honestly, like it's this. I've always been like that, man. I grabbed the guitar. My mom's like, "So do you want to take lessons?" I'm like, "No, I don't."
Well, I mean, like I can sit and play music forever. I don't have to listen to anybody else's music to make music. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
I
mean,
don't see why you'd have to read comics to create comics.
yep. And I think staying true to your intentions is a good thing, man. Like honestly, I'm not gonna pretend to be in love with this industry or whatever. I mean, that's ridiculous. I'm just staying true to myself and what I enjoy doing, and I love making things, and it's that simple. And if it doesn't come across as a traditional comic book, then so be it. It probably isn't, anyways, right?
Yeah, like I've had people say, "Well, that looks like an indie book," and I'm like, I take that as a compliment. I'm not here to make something that is what everybody else is doing. My music's the same way. I didn't make music that because it was something everybody wanted. And the same with my comics and stuff and my writing. It doesn't have to be like anybody else's. People can go, that's weird or that's indie looking. Well, that's good. That's what I want. I want weird stuff.
Absolutely, man. You just gotta. This stuff comes from the heart, and that I don't know. I feel like when people figure out a formula, it could often be a bad thing, man. Like
I agree.
like is there any musicians out there listening? When I grew up, a lot of people got into this guitar technique called sweep picking, which is just this really fast technique where your fingers are sweeping across the board. Essentially, it's like just this crazy sound. They got so into it, and I just like every time I go to band practice, they're like, "Did you practice that?" I'm like, "No, I didn't." I'm like, "I'm sorry, I just don't want to do that. It's not fun." It turns it into a job, right? Which is kind of the defeats the purpose of playing guitar to me. I don't want to feel stressed. I just want to enjoy what I'm doing. Anyways, a lot of those people got stuck in ruts because they were focusing so much on technical stuff, and they like that's all that was in their heads is what they learned. They couldn't be creative anymore because their entire mental capacity was essentially occupied with like techniques and all kinds of like mathematical information. I'm like, that's not creativity. At that point, you're just regurgitating what you've seen or heard before, and it becomes the opposite of fun, man. It's a nightmare after that. Then you're struggling to maintain this technique because it's so difficult, and they just killed the whole thing for themselves, man. And I feel like my approach to anything I create is so insanely different. Like I just want to enjoy what I'm doing, man. I don't want to turn it into a burden.
Yeah, I've played in bands, and it's like the guys that had a predetermined formula for what they wanted to sound like, and it was always lame.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah. I essentially got kicked out of a band for the funniest reason. It was just a song I played, and the drummer looks at me. He's like, "That's not metal." I'm like, "I never said it was." And he's like, "Yeah, well, that doesn't work. That's not metal, man." And I just didn't know what to say to him. I was just like, "Well, I guess it's not." But I mean, and I couldn't believe how easy it was to rain on his parade, man. He was so upset that what the riff I just played wasn't metal. I'm like, "Your life is empty if this is all it takes to derail it." Right?
and you just ruined his whole life. We've actually got some people in the chat here. We've got Lorenzo. We've got Pencil for Life. We got Mutt Man and PS Melter all hanging out with us.
Awesome. Which I guess more reason to talk about the actual project and less about music. Because I don't know if any of those people play music.
I know Melter does. Melter's a bass player.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I remember him mentioning that. But yeah, hey guys.
Zach's saying I'm barely audible. Is that better, Zach? I turned up my microphone.
That's intensely loud, but that's good.
Now I mean, I should have just started yelling and doing my wrestling voice and been like, "Oh yeah!"
That would have worked even better, yeah. And I think my volume was just cranked, so you're probably at normal volumes right now.
Now you're deaf.
This is true. I was already kind of there, but
yeah, me too.
Yeah, man. So when it comes to Legends of Lone Wolf, man, so what's the progress so far, man? Because I haven't really been at my computer or paying attention to my phone. I'm just
Well,
wondering what's been happening.
I will go ahead and share the page, and we'll look at it and talk about it a little bit.
Awesome.
So right now we're at 1117, which is 27% funded, which is not so bad for
Wait,
we
this
started
started?
it. Yeah, we started at 12 yesterday.
Oh,
So within 24 hours, not even 24 hours, we've raised over $1,000.
oh man, that's awesome, dude. I didn't even realize. Oh man, I'm gonna have to focus, man, and get in on this promotion stuff.
Yeah, yeah, dude. I'm excited. We had a really good first day. We've got 28 backers. I know some people will probably wait. I sent out some secret perks for people who backed my first book, so I'm hoping some more people will jump on that.
Yeah, and once they find out about the secret perk where everyone gets an official, authentic lock of Sasquatch hair, it's just sales are gonna go through the roof.
Exactly.
Tested by the SPCA, so you know it's real.
It is real, and it's red.
It's red.
So I mean, it's rare. Usually Sasquatches aren't red.
Exactly, man. All the ones I've seen in real life have not been red. So let's see some of these thumbnails. I see you posted a lot of images here, and I haven't seen any of this stuff yet.
We've got a lot. I'm working with Marshall Lee, and this is one of his panels for my story called "The Sword of the Samurai."
That is crazy, man.
Yeah, it's got a lot of Japanese monsters in it, so that's why it's got the lady with the long neck,
like Orochimaru. It's dope.
Yeah, and then we've got a page here that actually has the samurai in it.
Oh, dude, that's awesome, man.
I love his style, man. Like I was on with some guys with Narwhal and some guys a few minutes ago, and they said this reminded them of Samurai Jack.
I was
going to
say the same thing. Yep.
And that is so cool, And then of course we've got Mior. Mior's doing a story on this, and I love Mior's work. It's so manga.
This is with Crypto, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, I'm excited, man. They put a lot of effort into theirs, right?
Oh yeah, man. They've been working on it a lot, and Mior's been killing it, man.
Yeah, he's a beast.
He is a beast. I actually, when we're done with this, I kind of want to get him to work on something else with me.
Yeah, man. And I'm sure, I mean, everything merges. Oh, no. Let's just skip what I was about to say.
But we've got this cover here by Bruce Padnoff, and we all know Bruce is like a beast of an artist.
This is crazy, man. Look at that bird, man. That's insane.
Yeah.
Wow.
Dude, I love that. I was telling other people, that is the essential wolf right there. That's what wolves should always look like.
Yeah, that's unbelievable, man, for real. That looks so good. I love the way he made it stand, like the character standing in the frame. You know what I mean? And the background's like almost like a picture.
Yeah. It's really cool. I mean, I love it. You couldn't have asked for a better, cover. That cover is going to kill.
Yeah, this is crazy, man. It makes me think, dude. I was wondering how it was going to work. A lot of artists painting and drawing the same character, and I was like, how? I'm not an artist, so it's hard for me to imagine other people drawing a character that, I don't know. It just seemed like an impossible task to get so many people to draw the same character, and yet they're all similar. And from what I'm seeing, everyone pulled it off, man. Like the character every time looks like Lone Wolf.
Yeah, I mean, it's Wolf. You see him and you know it's him. But
Yeah,
it's in their style. Like this here, this is a J. Paul Sheep.
Yep, I knew it as soon as I seen this.
Oh yeah,
definitely Jay's.
He's got a super distinctive style.
Yeah, that desert panel. Wow,
I cannot wait to read this. Now, see, he's actually came back and redone the owl creature. The owl creature is like 12 times creepier than this now.
I don't understand how that's possible because that thing's like nightmare inducing, man.
I know, dude. It is so creepy. He showed it to me. It is so creepy now. But I mean, look at this. I love this right here, man. It is so cool.
The movement, man, it's like a video game. Like
It is.
it's, so
And
what I'm seeing here, the panel is the exact same perspective. Like all three of those top panels, the same perspective, but it's like a lapse in time.
yeah.
It's wild, man. It's insanely creative.
And then we've got Mr. Jameson McCran,
Yep.
James, we were talking about. I love his story, man. I
Yeah,
love the way he's coloring it. This is just going to stand out in the book. I know when you flip open and you see the start of his story, it's going to leap out at you.
yeah, and if anyone's wondering why James is on here twice, it's because James is an awesome dude, and he reached out to, or I reached out to him, but he basically made my life a lot easier, man. He's like, "Yep, I'm gonna do this for you," and because I wasn't sure who I was gonna get to do mine, it was kind of getting difficult to find someone. So Doug and I were like, "Yeah, that's cool, man. He could do two."
And the thing is, if you see the sketches he does for your story, it looks like a completely different style.
You'd
And
never know it was the same person.
no, and he kills it on both.
Yeah. Yeah, like the gradients in his hair and the lighting and stuff, it looked really crazy. Is this still his? I never seen this.
Oh yeah, this is cool. I love how the woman like just kind of glows.
Dude, the building, that is really cool, man.
Yeah, this is just it's gonna pop when people see this. And I love his wolf. His wolf to me, everybody's wolf is good, but this to me his style looks close enough that he's doing issue 2, by the way, for everybody that may not know. He's going to be the official Lone Wolf artist now. But he looks enough like Wolf from the first book.
It does. It really does.
You know, I think that we'll be fine. But I really like his style. I like his movement. There's some other panels I don't have up here that he hasn't colored yet, where the movement in them, it looks like an action movie.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing, man. There's a cinematic feel to it. It feels like storyboarding for a film, essentially. It looks like a still taken from like a live action piece, basically.
Yeah, we've let's scroll down here. We got some more Mior art down here too, because I posted several pages of his art.
So is this a story about a young wolf?
Well, this story actually is about a legend. I can't remember the tribe name. I can't pronounce it, but it's a local legend there in the Northwest, and this is I don't know what tribe of Native Americans this is.
Yeah,
But it's not.
Wild.
Yeah, it's not wolf. Yeah, dude, it looks great. And Mior's coloring this. His colors are good. His art is great.
Yeah,
all of this right
oh,
here.
What?
Yeah,
That's a turn.
yeah. And then you see, it's
Wow.
it's so killer, man. Then you get to see the close up on the samurai down here.
Oh man, that's really cool.
I can't wait till Marshall colors this. It's gonna be killer. We actually are going to continue this character in his own story.
Oh, cool, man.
Yeah, because I was writing a script about his backstory, and we're just going to carry that on. What was funny is I was writing the script, and I didn't say anything to Marshall about it, you know, about continuing it. And he messaged me. He's like, "Man, I really like this character. Have you thought about like continuing his story?" I'm like, "Yes." And he was like, "I'd really like to do that if you want to do it." I was like, "Yes." So when we get this done and get it wrapped up, I'm going to start working on the script and, you know, work with him on that. Then get Lone Wolf issue 2 rolling. I'm going to have volume 2 of this. There's still plenty of people working on their story and their art for volume 2. So as soon as this gets done, volume 2 is going to be right on the heels. Issue 2 is going to be on its heels. You know, I've got all kind of ideas that I want to be cranking out all the time.
I think, especially for myself, I think 2020 is going to be a pretty interesting year. So right now, I'm just at the beginning of this journey, so I got a lot of stuff to work my way through. But I can't wait to really be part of the process and delivering. So I'm the kind of person that kind of overdoes it when it comes to like the preparations. And essentially, I learned through my music career that if you spend an enormous amount of time prepping everything, and when I say enormous, I mean like I've spent like 3 years working on a platform so I could record one song. But from there, it was a launch pad, right? I was able to record like a song every week or two from that point because that preparation. It probably doesn't sound like a lot to most people, but you got to think I'm putting like upwards to 200 hours per song, right? So preparation is everything when it comes to enormous projects or something you see yourself doing for a very long time. And with this whole comic book thing and coloring that I'm getting into, I just, as soon as you and Nate kind of pointed me in that direction, man, I just seen it. I was like, oh my God, this is like, it just felt perfect. I don't know how to explain it. It just seemed like this is what I need to be doing.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, man. The same thing. I didn't have anybody pointing me in that direction, but I came across the whole group making comic books, and it's like, I can do this. This is, and when I started working on it, it's like, this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
But we've got Zach Hawkins in the chat, and I'm gonna butcher your name and I'm from the South, so forgive me. But I talk to this dude all the time. He's a big supporter of mine. He's always sending me encouragement. But it's Chauncey Sheeran Jr. We're glad to have you in the chat. We've got Muttman. He says that scene where the zombie girl gets shot in the shoulder is freaking awesome. That is right. Muir killed that. He also says he likes McCrann's pages where Wolf has a cool hat. That hat was sexy.
It was, man. It's funny that you noticed that because my eye was drawn to the hat as well.
Yeah, he's holding that hat, and it's like, man, that's a cool hat. It makes me want a cool hat like that.
Does you should get one, man. Get yourself the open trench coat, and you'll be a lone wolf.
I'd be Fat Wolf.
I'd just be like the hairiest, reddest wolf ever if I did that. Just
you'd be like, Lone Sass.
Be like lone cousin it.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yo, could you pull up the page again?
I sure can. Let me go to the screen share. Share my screen.
Excellent. So back at the top, or I think we're at the top. So there was like a description part. It might be a little bit lower. It was just this one. Where'd it go? Maybe it's a bit lower still. Oh, yeah, it's part of this paragraph here, I think. Yeah, so I'm just seeing this one part where you straight up just lied to all your patrons. And I don't know.
Where did I lie at?
I'm seeing this here, this very last line. I also enlisted the talents of Cal Jameson, J. Paul Sheik, Jameson McCann, and Joey Trombley to join me in the quote-unquote storytelling. So that's not entirely accurate.
Well, I should have put the join me in the fun magic time party.
Oh, no, I just thought it was funny when I was reading that because I was commenting earlier on how I don't even know how far you could go with calling what I did storytelling.
Oh, well, I don't know if I showed this off. I meant to because I was going to go back. We got the Muttman variant cover issue 1.
Yep.
So there's going to be a perk where you can get that. And this might be like the coolest cover ever.
Yeah,
I really like that.
Love the way he depicted the forest, man. It looks insane.
Yeah, and I like that this actually, I always liked the old comic books where it had a fight scene on the front. Like it was like Spider-Man fighting Doctor Doom or something, and it would have part of the fight on the, and I just really like that on the cover there.
Yeah, man. Is this an actual panel from the story, or this is totally separate?
This is just them fighting. It's just what Muttman envisioned in his head.
Okay.
because we were talking about what he wanted, what he should do, and I said, well, it'd be cool if they were fighting or if he was riding a motorcycle, and so this is what he came up with, and I love it.
Yeah, man. That's really neat, dude. It's funny how just the idea of Lone Wolf, there's something iconic about it, man. Like automatically with the moon and the forest background, it just like even the little bit that I had tried to do with for you way back there. I think what was I doing? Was it just like a text logo or something? Yeah, it was a
Yeah,
text, and automatically it's where my mind went to was the wolf because it's a huge part of I mean the Native American culture. I mean it's uh, here in Canada, Native American culture was hugely linked to um, astronomy in a weird way. Is just a huge part of the stories they tell, man. Like they understood more about the night sky and the universe than the average person did a long time ago before they even had tools to measure any of it, right?
yeah,
It's just a really fascinating history when you get to talk to some of these people.
yeah. I love Native American history. That that's what inspired me to even uh, write Lone Wolf, was some family history several generations back. It just really intrigued me, and I thought that would make a really cool comic book story.
Yeah, and their stories are so vivid, man. Like they're probably the best storytellers in North America. Like just everything about their culture was about telling a story, man. And when I worked at the Science Center, it was really surprising to me that pretty much everything that Science Center was based on was rooted in Native American history, man. It just all these scientific concepts that we were presenting were born in their culture. Essentially, it was things that they just put two and two together. They were like they talked about shooting stars and stuff. And essentially, where I live in the third largest meteor crater in the planet. It's huge, and the Native Americans were fully aware of this. How would they have been aware of it, right? Without any type of technology to tell them that they were living within a meteor crater. And when I say a meteor crater, it's so big that there's no way you could just like look and like, oh, I'm in a meteor crater. It's not that obvious, right? Because it's so huge.
Yeah,
And it's just everything they did kind of started this scientific trend. And the Science Center is actually built in the heart of the meteor, and it tells the stories of the Native Americans, which were essentially telling the stories of modern science, but in their own way.
yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, honestly, I wish I could take everyone I know there because it is one of the coolest places on the planet. It's just it everything about it, man. The sound, the atmosphere, and there's straight up a unique smell and just odor when you're inside of the meteor.
Yeah,
It just smells ancient, man. I don't know how to explain it. Not in a bad way. It's like minerals. It's minerals and groundwater, and it's really an amazing place. And you can, my cat's jumping all over. I don't know if you guys can hear that. She's climbing everything. But yeah, the like in that cave, man, like you everywhere you walk, you could hear the water trickling, even if you can't see it because it's flowing through the rock everywhere, and it's truly an inspiring place.
I love places like that.
One last little bit of information about that for anyone who's watched Neil deGrasse's reboot series of what is it called, Cosmos? I think. Pretty sure that's what it was called. Have you seen that, Doug?
No, I don't watch a lot of educational programs because I like to rot my brain.
Okay, well, anyone who's seen that, and I think that's the name of the show, but if it's not, I'm sure you'll know what I'm talking about. There's a scene where he's in a rubber dinghy floating through a giant pool of what he calls heavy water. That's actually right here underneath my feet here in Sudbury, man. It's something they created here in Sudbury to catch neutrinos. It's really it was born again through this Native American culture, and I think there's a lot more to that story than what they were saying in Cosmos, man. It's really it's impressive for real, man. It's basically born from a meteor that the Native Americans deducted was actually where they were living. So yeah, it's some cool stuff.
That is cool, man.
I see someone else jumped in here.
Oh, it's Melter.
What's up?
What's up, buddy?
All right, how you guys doing?
Oh,
We're
not
doing-
too bad at all.
We're doing okay.
It's good to see that your campaign has hit over 1,000. Hopefully, it'll hit its goal by the end of the week. Go, yeah, Doug.
Yep.
Yeah, I hope we hit it. I'd like to start working on some stretch goals and get some people paid. I know a lot of guys didn't throw in to get paid, but it would be awesome if we could make enough money to share it around a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, if we go over 9,000, Doug and I will fuse. Now, that is a promise.
We will fuse and we will become one. We will become unstoppable.
Absolutely, man. It's going to be the hairiest creature that's ever existed.
Exactly. And fat.
Yeah, so we got someone else here.
Who is it?
Mr. Ashworth? I don't know if that's the right
It's
last
Brad.
name. Ashworth, yeah.
What's up, Brad?
What's up, dude?
What's going on? You working on some handyman?
I am actually working on the cover right now.
Awesome.
That looks sick, dude. It really does.
It does.
Nice.
Brad is a killer artist.
I'm all right.
I'm all right. Draws this amazing picture. I kind of suck, but
Not too brown horn.
One
Brad's
thing
like, oh, I'm color blind. He like draws and colors an amazing piece. It's like, you're not colorblind. That's amazing. He's like, yeah, I'm colorblind.
the one thing I wonder about, is it easy to smudge that ink you're putting on?
If it's wet, yeah.
Interesting. I figured there'd be some intricacy to it, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I've just been working with it for a while. I still smudge stuff. I won't color it until I'll give it like 24 hours. So.
Oh, really? So it's got to dry that long before you can put colors?
I find it works better that way.
Otherwise, it'll smudge or the colors will bleed or something?
Yeah, when you start putting Copics on top or whatever, yeah, well.
It's a game of patience. But I imagine the longer you've been doing it, it's kind of like just natural part of the process.
Yeah. True.
We've got Nachos in the chat. He's going by my pickles, but I'm still calling him Nachos.
Okay.
Because he's got a pickle as an avatar now.
Oh, does he? Oh.
Yeah, he's weird. So how we had Rozzy on stream.
Oh yeah.
I think booting him made him upset, and that's why he deleted his Twitter. And now I feel bad.
Oh, he deleted his Twitter?
Yeah, he deleted his Twitter and everything. He's like, I'm leaving Twitter.
Might just be a case of a little bit too much, and I don't know.
All that crappy.
He was pretty much quote unquote hammered.
Yeah. I was gonna say
it was hilarious though.
He probably doesn't even remember. It's like someone canceled my Twitter on me.
Probably. But that's the way she goes.
Yep.
You'll be all right.
But I appreciate you guys dropping in here and hanging out with us.
Always.
We just been chatting about the book, Joey's crazy story. I can't wait for you guys to see it.
Yep, it's chaos, and that's right. There was no thumbnails in there because we're still not quite there, I guess. But I think we'll probably have some thumbnails to show folks sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I think he's got some pencils. He just doesn't have them inked yet.
Yeah,
because I know he's inking his pencils right now, the end of them. Or actually, I think he might be just finishing up colors on his.
Yeah, it sounds about right. And I think if I could get my computer thing sorted out, I'll be doing the colors for our story. So that'll at least lighten the load for him a little bit.
I'm just glad I don't have to do colors or draw pictures.
Well, you just sign yourself.
That's all
up.
I gotta do.
I just have to be a jerk and be like, "Hey, you got your work done?"
Yeah. Well, that's your name on the book. Yeah, so you gotta be.
Yeah. No, it's Rozzy. Hey, Rozzy. He's in the chat.
What's up, buddy?
Dude, you don't have to be sorry about anything, dude. We love you, Rozzy. I had a blast, and it was hilarious, and you're always welcome to join and hang out anytime.
Yeah, get your butt in here, Razzie.
Yeah, you can join now if you want to. We got Midnight Cherry TV in the chat. He's I support Cherry, but I'm Cherry adjacent.
God.
And I'm really looking forward to his Indiegogo for the Book of Adjacency. I think he's going to release at least 3 variants, and I'm really looking forward to seeing them.
Adjacency, is that part of the Bourne series?
I'm not sure what series it is, but
it makes you feel cool, dude.
Oh, Midnight Cherry says he's doing 16 variants.
Excellent.
Ooh, okay.
So, will you have a perk that I can get all 16? And I want them all signed.
Yeah, just $1 issue.
But Rozzy says he's got to head out in a minute. Rozzy, you be safe, buddy.
Yeah, dude.
And we miss you and want you back on the show sometime.
Gotta remember, it's like 10 in the morning for him.
Yeah, don't get out and drink too much beer.
No fastas.
Especially not if it's 10 in the morning.
Razzie will.
Possibly.
My favorite thing is what Skinny said the other day. Skinny said, Rozzy Lee is the best thing to come out of Comicsgate.
That's true.
Well, I can see that, yeah.
Midnight Cherry says that his 16 variants is going to be released 1 variant a month while you wait, and it's like a subscription club. So you subscribe to it, and you'll get 1 variant a month.
Oh,
Love it.
okay.
It's like microtransactions.
Rozzy says he's going to do food shopping, then beer later today. That's smart, Rozzy.
By food shopping, he just means beer and more beer. Sometimes liquor and whiskey.
Well, you need pizza rolls to go with the beer.
Exactly.
Yeah, corn
Pizza
nuts.
rolls, nachos.
Corn nuts are inedible unless you're drunk.
No, the best thing I heard was beer is bread soda in a can.
It tastes more like not bread soda in a can.
Well, it's supposed to be bread soda in a can. It doesn't mean it has to taste like it.
Yeah, there was this beer they came out with here in Canada. They made it with rice, and it was god awful. Oh my god, it was just like it was horrific, man. And it made you sick, something fierce, man. It just wasn't good.
Midnight Cherry.
There's something like.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Melter.
Let's say I've only had like about 3 types of alcohol beverages from Canada. One being Crown, the other being like Moosehead, and the other being Killian. So
No,
I don't know what any of that is, except Crown. I guess that's whiskey.
whiskey, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what the other stuff is though.
Midnight
really?
Cherry is saying microtransactions constantly. You get charged at purchase, and then again, see what that says. Let me move this over. Then again, when I get to the post office.
Nice.
That's a
Zach
model.
Hawkins says, "What's wrong with drinking at 10 a.m.? Hashtag third shift life." And he says, still reserve his bread in a can.
Oh, screw that, dude. Still Reserve is nasty. I'd rather drink PBR.
I don't drink at all, so.
Yeah, I don't either.
Yeah,
I've cut back a lot. I don't drink as much anymore, but still.
Good.
Still Reserve is nasty. That and anything that's like in a 40-ounce drink, like Colt 45.
Colt 45 or
Yes.
King Cobra.
Oh, you guys beat me to it. Still Reserve, Colt 45, King Cobra, Old Milwaukee, Ice, all that stuff. Yeah. Nasty stuff.
So, Midnight Cherry says, "Find Jesus, Zach. Put that steel away."
See, I'm all for this microtransaction route that he's going because Midnight Cherry still owes me $37, and the more money he has, the quicker I'm going to get my $37.
That's right. You heard that, Midnight Cherry. He wants his $37.
I don't even know who you are, but I want that money.
I want that money.
Go back, Lone Wolf, and give Joey his money.
We should have did a perk. Just it's just where you pay $37 and it goes to Joe.
What was the name of that horrible book that started this all? That
Mr. Cool, but it was in
Monsieur
French.
Chic. Yeah, Monsieur Chic.
I can't talk in French because I can barely speak English.
Yeah, it's a great book.
Okay.
I think that should be a perk.
Custom made.
Nobody here knows it because that's an old school Needle Mover Society book.
It is. And so many people owe me money from that book that it's just, I had to put it away for now because just people are losing their houses, losing their families, just trying to get me my payment.
Zach Hawkins says, "I quit steel years ago. Now I chase my Four Loco with Mad Dog 2020."
That's
Zach
so
Hawkins,
bad, dude.
How are you alive? How is your gut not rotted out?
It's all that barbecue. The barbecue evens it out.
It must.
It must be, yeah.
You just put all that pork in there and it just soaks up the alcohol.
Protein.
Jesus Christ!
Man, he
I
was
remember when I had Four Loko before they removed all that stuff from it. Gee, oh my God!
And he was talking about his job in prepping, and he was just talking about barbecue and stuff. Then I don't know if my brain slipped or if he did, but then he's like, "Yeah, when we prepped like 100,000 chickens that day," I'm like, "What? That's like, what are you feeding a whole country?" That's crazy.
Barbecue serious business, Joey.
Yeah, man.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Oh well.
I set the camera to Brad so we can all watch him draw the hand.
Oh, great.
Yeah, this
Pressure.
is awesome, man.
Pressure.
Oh, dude, I love that when you were on the drawing show. For some reason, it escapes my mind, and you did the Batman thing with Handyman.
Oh, yeah.
That was so awesome.
That was sick.
It was great.
Oh, thank you, guys.
Uh,
Appreciate it.
Zach Hawkins says barbecue is the fountain of youth. Skinny's in the chat. Hey, Skinny, I dropped the link in Chad Talks if you want to jump in, buddy.
Yo, Skinny.
How you been, Skinny?
We love you,
I
Skinny. Get
I
in
guess
here.
Skinny messaged me in the chat group, and I didn't see it. Felt bad.
You shouldn't feel bad. It's just Skinny.
I
Yeah.
don't want him to think
kidding.
I'm ignoring him. Yeah.
I love Skinny. He says he's in the car. You with Mrs. Skinny? Tell Mrs. Skinny I said, hey.
Are they off to a drug deal?
Possibly.
Yeah, tell Mrs. Skinny she owes me $37.
Yep.
I need my gram of weed.
You know what? With the legalization here, that's pretty much what it is. It's kind of funny. The legalization turned into like what you could probably consider the most criminal thing I've ever seen in my life, man. Like the prices on this stuff here, when you look at our stores, they're like wanting like the markup is insane. It's like 16 times more expensive than it is to buy from dope dealers. And then they're like, why aren't people buying it? It's like, well, I mean, they need to live in a house. They need to buy food. They're just not going to spend $6,000 on weed in a month. Doesn't make any sense. Yeah, legalization is pretty weird. It's
So, Joe, Skinny says, she says, hey, and for Joe to eat poop.
I
So-
already beat her to it, so yeah, we're good.
And Zach Hawkins said, I did cater a job that was 900, I guess it's 900 pounds of pork and 500
Oh my gosh.
chicken, not to mention all the side dishes and tea and sauce.
That's crazy.
I was going to say, Zach, if you want to jump in here, bud, you can. And I don't, if nachos, if you want to jump in, you're welcome to. But I know it's like probably like 3 a.m. there in jolly old England. Feel welcome. We're just chilling now. We talked about Lone Wolf some, and now we're just chilling and having a good time.
Yeah.
I'm just noticing with the handyman standing on right now, is that human?
Pile of bodies?
Yeah. That's
You know-
awesome.
Do you not know my book?
No, not really, man. Like I've
Oh,
heard you guys
dude.
talk about it.
Yeah, it's
Dude.
John Wick meets Home Depot.
Oh, that's the best description ever, dude.
That's pretty much it, man.
So,
Well, that's
Yeah.
cool as hell, man.
thanks. I appreciate it.
He's got some brutal murders in his book.
Yeah, there's some brutal action, that's for sure. So, definitely some brutal action going on. So, I'm just trying to. Sorry, I'm going slow because I want to make sure I get it right. So I'm
Yeah,
trying
man.
to figure out how I want
Do it, man. Do it to make it look good.
to. Yeah,
Don't do it to make it fast for this video. This
No, I'm
video
not
is
going to.
forever. Your art is forever.
I just wonder, Melter, are you drunk?
I was gonna ask the
Little
same thing. Yeah.
I've had a couple beers.
We can tell.
Oh, we can tell.
Yeah.
I like you better when you're drunk. Which I mean, really, I don't like you anyways. But I just figured I'd say that.
Yes. What's the best kind of fermented yak milk you guys have over there in the States?
Hey,
Hey,
Hi.
What's up?
Hello, how's it going?
it's going.
Excellent.
It's Skinny and
it's
Skinny's
Mrs.
woman.
It's
Mrs.
Mrs.
Skinny.
Skinny.
Because her name is not written.
Well, we always in Chad Talks, you always refer to her as Mrs. Skinny. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is Mrs. Skinny officially,
the officially,
as of like 2 years ago.
I'm sorry.
You're not sorry. That's the thing.
Oh, Skinny.
What you're supposed to say is, I know you're sorry. Now apologize.
She wasn't happy with that, Doug. She left.
I made her mad.
Did.
You do that to everybody.
Midnight Cherry says, wouldn't it be Mrs. Ninja? Well, it probably would be, but we always call her Mrs. Skinny.
This is true.
Well, no. It wouldn't be Mrs. Ninja. I mean, Ninja has a wife.
No, it's well, okay, all right.
Midnight Cherry TV says these modern marriages with their name changes. Oh, they're skinny. It actually says skinny now.
Yep. It's got a
Right.
dope.
Skinny man.
It's got a dope picture too.
Thank you.
What's up, skinny?
I don't think you want me to answer that.
Well, don't answer it then.
Well, just don't get caught with the cops.
Can I say hard bathing suit area places and helicopters?
Oh my gosh.
Answer it now, please.
I feel like Melter's trying to be risy tonight. We might have to drop him.
Kick Melter. We'll get Nasser on.
Oh, I'm trying to see a bunch of F-bombs then? Okay.
No, don't
Flip, flap, flop, fluent, lippity dippity dop.
Midnight Cherry TV says risy Melter.
Justice for Rise.
I love risy. I might like Melter if he was Australian, but since he's not, I just don't care for him.
I agree.
That's because half the chat is, or half the people in the chat here on the video is redneck.
It's
I'm gonna
been-
say that being Australian automatically makes someone dope.
so if half the chat there is redneck, are you talking about the YouTube chat or our chat?
The people inside here, not the chat. The people talking. Me, you, Skinny, Joey, and Brad. Half
What?
of us
Don't
are
no.
rednecks.
Don't be putting me in with that group.
No, half of us. Brad and Joey are the one half who isn't. Me, Skinny, and Brett and Doug are rednecks
Well,
because
see,
it's 3-2.
You say that, but you said isn't. You were supposed to say ain't. Supposed to say Brad and Joey ain't rednecks, but the rest of us is.
Yep, that's what you do.
I thought he just meant that we were colluding with the Russians.
Well, you know, I only collude with Canadians.
Oh, I thought it was
Y'all-
war campaign.
I mean,
Y'all
I know who-
colluding with Joe Biden, and I denounce you all because y'all are wrong.
Midnight Cherry TV says it's probably half the chat too. So,
Most
are you a redneck, Midnight Cherry? I mean, I've heard you talk, but I didn't figure you for a redneck. I didn't figure you was one of us.
Okay,
Or my-
first I thought you asked him if he was naked.
No, I didn't ask if he was
Are
naked.
you naked? Naked? I want you naked.
Well, is that a problem if someone were to be naked?
I'm always naked. That's why I'm never on camera.
I
Oh,
go to
okay.
work naked.
I'm a
Nah,
never
I'm-
nude. So.
I'm kidding. I never wear pants, but I'm not naked.
He's only half naked. You're just like a day walker.
He's a daywalker. Nice.
Zach Hawkins says Risey once boxed a kangaroo for 12 rounds for a pack of smokes and a handy. And Midnight Cherry TV says South for 10 years though. So by adoption of my friend. So you're an adopted redneck. He says he's only naked during his history shows. So if you ever watch the history, if you haven't watched Midnight Cherry TV's Day in History show, you guys are missing out. It's a great show. I try to catch it every time I can.
Yeah,
But now
he's
that
awesome.
I know he's naked while he's doing it, I'm going to tune in more often.
Well, that's the only way to really, expose information about history. I mean, you have to be naked. You got to channel our forefathers, man.
So Nachos or My Pickles, as it is in the chat, says, referring to Zach's thing about Rousey boxing the kangaroo, says he could have just asked me instead of fighting the kangaroo.
That would have been good.
Bye, Rousey. Rousey's got to run. See you, buddy.
Run from the law, or just run?
Yeah, he probably running from the law.
He's run from the drop bears.
Yeah, you got to watch out for them drop bears. We don't have drop bears here. We just got, regular bears.
So how's the book doing, Doug?
We are at 11:17.
Woo!
Unless it's changed. Let me hit refresh on it.
I have been plugging your book at work
That's awesome.
Nice.
because those are the only people I see every day.
And the
You
best
never
part,
know. They might want one someday.
the best part of this campaign is that Skinny didn't even have to get alcohol poisoning.
Not
Oh,
yet.
that is coming tonight.
Oh, please don't.
Oh, that's tonight, dude. Wow.
Oh, so we have to stop by the liquor store?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sir.
I don't know. We still got vodka at the house.
A little bit.
But yes, I will be getting alcohol poisoning, and I'll be naked.
Wow.
If
And I'll
there's
have
one
my
thing that's
sickle and hammer, and I'll be channeling my inner Putin.
Okay.
there's nothing like trying to sell a book by being naked and drunk.
That's the only way to sell books, man.
Midnight Cherry TV says I gave 2 copies of Lone Wolf to people. That's awesome. I think it's awesome when people buy. Like I know quite a few people that bought the 5-packs and were giving copies away, and that's really really cool.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, Doug. I almost called you Garrett.
Call me either one.
You were interrupted by food.
The food is pretty awesome.
All right, thank you. Yeah, you too.
Are you going to finish that thought, Miss Skinny?
Oh, I forgot. I'm trying to drive.
I'm just chilling, and now you guys are talking about getting food, and that makes me hungry.
Remember your fat man rules.
I know.
Is it? I can't remember for sure because I know I read it, but is the Lone Wolf kid friendly?
We're trying to keep it PG-13. It's not over the top violent, but there is a little bit of violence in there. You might want to look over it first, and you know, it's no more violent than the comics I read as a kid. We're not like showing anybody getting their heads ripped off or disemboweled or anything.
What? That's the
We're
fun
not-
part.
Yeah, we're not handyman in it.
I don't do the disemboweling. Wow. Even I have limits. Yeah, I'm like, I don't want to scare everybody away.
But our nephews have already been experiencing Lone Wolf.
Yeah, I think like there's a little bit of blood and stuff in one story, but I don't think there's anything too crazy.
So basically, it's no worse than a video game.
No, it's not like Grand Theft Auto. There's no hookers or nothing.
But
No.
you could make a story.
Damn, I wanted hookers.
You should, you know.
So
do
it's
a-
not like Game of Dongs.
No, there's no wiener. There's none of that.
Oh my
either.
gosh.
Movie trilogy.
I didn't even say to stop.
Zach
Apparently,
Hawkins.
we magically found ourselves at the liquor store. Huh.
Zach Hawkins
Wow.
says I was hungry one time. I wonder where he got that from. Well,
I'm not entirely sure.
this has been a fun chat. Everybody here is actually cool, except for Melcher.
Yay.
Except for Melter, huh?
Wallet, so you're gonna have to do it.
What are you guys doing? Going in the liquor store?
Mrs. Skinny is about to.
You should both just go in and stay on the stream while you're in the liquor store.
You think?
Yeah, do
I'll
it.
do it. Well,
You should just do it and turn the
Yeah.
video on. And video
No, he can't go in. He doesn't have his ID.
yeah. And I got a baby face, so I know they're gonna try to card me.
Yeah, they're gonna be like, get that skinny little boy out of here. That's what they do.
I should wear a trench coat and a mustache and some sunglasses.
Well, you're
maybe even
you're
those
in
Groucho
Alabama.
Marx things.
in Alabama. They don't care nothing about that.
I mean, yeah, even the school kids drink, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's only if I'm getting Coors, but this ain't Coors.
Oh.
Not fucking corn.
Why don't you just like man, everybody's live streaming tonight, it seems like.
Yeah.
Hey, guys.
Lorenzo's on too.
Yeah, I told Lorenzo I was going to come over there in a few minutes. Oh, whenever we got done. And I just noticed that that Nosser's on with Mutt Man and Macho Dan. Oh, look what Melter's got. What do you got, Melter?
It's Lone Wolf #1, man. You know how I got this? Because Doug is so cool. I'm sorry, hiccup. Oh, jeez. But no, Doug is so cool. Doug is so cool.
He still keeps doing it. Oh.
Oh, damn it. But Doug is so... Doug,
You can't even get it out.
Doug is so cool. He was like, whoever backs a physical copy of Movie Men, I'll send them a copy of Lone Wolf. Guess what? I back Lone Men. Movie.
We know you do with Lone Men all the time. Walter.
Oh yeah, DP and whatever. Yeah, but no.
Oh
Anyway.
my gosh, dude! Wow. I think Meltzer's
I
about
full
had it tonight.
power. No, I'm serious, but yeah, I backed Movie Men and physical copy, and Doug gave me his physical copy of Lone Wolf Volume 1.
Cool.
It's awesome. I've already seen it black and white and colored on digital, and seeing it actually myself on physical, it's pretty awesome. Jeff Lashley is a really good artist. Doug is a really amazing, interesting writer for his kind of like idea for Lone Wolf, and I can't wait to put my money where my mouth is for, or at least pay or whatever you want to call it, for the anthology, and also be ready for Lone Wolf 2. So yeah, this is a pretty cool book. It's really designed well. Everything gets you, and at the end you have a really nice hook. So back Lone Wolf and get the anthology right now.
Hey, Doug, I got a question about Wolf.
Okay.
What does he drink?
Water.
Well, he doesn't drink alcohol? I mean, he is a 200-year-old Cherokee warrior.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sure he probably has and probably would, but I wouldn't see him really having a preference.
Skinny, are you going for the stereotypes there? Or?
Yeah, are you trying to say that he drinks fire water? You racist.
Fuck y'all. Oh, fireball. Yeah. No, I'm kidding. Sorry about
The chat.
Yeah, I had to say it. You know what I'm saying?
The chat went wild there over your hiccups. We've got Zach Hawkins with Back Movie Wolf today. And Midnight Cherry TV says Brad is embarrassed. He's trying to draw a pile of dead bodies, and we got Meltzer over here. And then,
it's a little hard to focus with that going on. Yeah.
Midnight Cherry also says we got Lone Men. And then we've got Handy Wolf, Lone Men, Mystery Men.
Handy Wolf. All right.
Yeah. Zach Hawkins said Lone Wolf's favorite drink is the same as mine, whatever's open.
I think Lone Wolf needs to be kind of like an APA bite after adding some liquor or whatever to the beer drink. It's like She-Wolf with extra kick.
All right.
Oh, I'm going to be drinking whiskey for Lone Wolf.
There you
I
I
won't be
don't know
drinking
if
and
alcohol.
driving. We'll pull over so we can drink, and then we'll finish driving.
go. Don't even joke about that.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Jeez, dude, no.
Somebody
Dude,
will hear that and they'll be like, Skinny drinks and drives.
Trust me, I've done that before. It's not good, dude. No.
But it's got electrolytes. It's what drunks crave.
Electrolytes.
Screw that. I just rather smoke weed. As I'm going to say,
What?
Melters, he's lost it.
Yeah, yeah.
no, I couldn't do the whole smoking a bong riff. Sorry.
Oh, is that what you were doing? Oh, I thought you
I
were
was trying to. That
I thought you were mimicking motorboating somebody. I'm like what?
as soon
That's
as
the sound he makes
I
when he's
did it,
going after lone men.
Lone men. He's going to get him a handy wolf from some lone men.
I'm trying to get a handy wolf from John Malin.
Oh man.
I hate you, Melter.
And degeneracy.
Hey, you too, Doug.
So how much have you drank, Melter?
He must have died.
I
He
guess
needs-
not.
Sorry. I muted my thing while I was smoking, but I'd say about a bottle of rum and a couple of beers.
So you
First-
like Jeff Lashley's art?
Yeah, that's good. The art for the next stuff is really amazing. I'm trying to remember the guy's name, but we talked to him a couple of days ago.
Oh, you're talking about Jameson McCann?
Yeah, James McCann. Oh my God, his artwork is
It's okay.
so amazing because of how he uses the penciling or the colors. It looks different than other people. Just for that, it really kicks out.
One thing I like about the book is how everybody's got a completely different style. Like me and Joey was talking about, it's completely different styles, but you see Wolf, and Wolf is kind of very consistent throughout the book. It makes it really cool.
Yeah, you want a different style if you're going to be doing anthology.
Yeah,
It's all the same. It'll get kind of boring.
Yeah, for real.
I mean, for a guy who's going to live 500-600 years, you need gaps. It's pretty cool too.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was a neat idea for an anthology, because I'm not made up my mind, but I think I'm just going to do stories. I'm just going to do like mini series. I think I'll probably just do 4 or 5 issues in the first little mini series of Lone Wolf. Then I might do another one, but I would like to keep doing like the Legends of Lone Wolf type thing also, whether it's anthologies or not.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, because
Jack,
the way
this is only the beginning because you got people on board for a volume 2, do you not?
yes, me and Joe was talking about that earlier. There's enough stories for another book, so once this book gets funded and we ship it out, we're gonna go ahead and get the second one ready to roll. Skinny's got a story in it, and the guy doing his art has got some really cool art. Joey Turnage has got a story.
Oh, Joey does? Cool.
Yeah. And
He's Stranger
Cal,
Things, right?
No,
not Stranger Things. My bad.
Something real.
Something real. Yeah, that's what I meant.
Something real, yeah.
And then Cal Jameson's got another story I think he's going to do. I've got a 17-page story I've worked on for it. I believe Crypto's got another one. We've got several other guys. Michael, I can't think of his last name. He did the Abductables book. He's got a story that's really cool.
Michael Derrick.
Yeah, Michael Derrick. There's a bunch of guys with a lot of really great stories. So, we'll get another volume or 2 just cranked out here as soon as possible.
Cool. Have you ever thought about doing? So, Handyman, I envision it, to be a certain size. So, and because of the shipping issue, I'm actually going to be the next one after this one. It's going to be the rest of the stories combined and just do them all at once.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. Hold on. I might be going into drawn and quartered fan edition.
Well, that's fine. We're probably about to wrap up here pretty soon, and I told Lorenzo I'd come on and hang out with him for a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, when you head over there, Brad, give everybody over there my love.
Well, I don't know. I'm the fill-in today, so.
No. We're going to vote for you no matter what. Everybody here, vote for Brad when he's on the fan edition.
Yeah,
Whether
whether
he's going to win and become the next the pro slayer, better than John Dilley.
I've already won the pro.
Ooh. Well, John's done it twice.
No, I didn't.
You done once? Okay. You're going to beat him. You're the pro slayer.
I don't know, man. I can't vote for Brad if Booster's going to be on.
Oh, penny twisted.
It's all good.
But I
Booster
think
does
I'll go,
deserve it.
I think I'm gonna go ahead and
But, Kiwi lives matter.
Well, I get you. I get you, dude. I support you.
No, they don't. Just step on them. Make juice.
Make juice.
Melter, you're a freak.
You've had enough.
Kiwi
Yeah.
juice.
You've had enough juice, Melter.
Eh.
But I think I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up here and head on over to Lorenzo. So if you guys aren't subscribed to Lorenzo Sleestack's channel, go check it out. He's a really good guy. I think his channel is Nerd Something Revival. He talks about nerd stuff,
Yeah.
Star Trek, all that stuff. It's a lot of fun. But I appreciate you guys coming on. Be on the lookout for Handyman coming to Kickstarter here pretty soon.
It is coming to Kickstarter soon. So if you missed it the first time, you can get it. And we're going to have more art to show in this one and everything. So you can get a better idea of what's coming down the pipe. Just because of everything, when I was moving and everything, I couldn't upload as much as I wanted to and take care of things. So, yep.
Yeah, so we'll be on the lookout for that. And Skinny and Joey are constantly putting out stuff for the ACP. So go and follow them. Skinny, you want to mention that real quick?
Yeah, I do stuff for ACP.
Yeah, he does. And so go check that out.
Definitely. Check out ashcancomicsPub.com. We're putting out 2 books every month for you can subscribe monthly for $10 a month. We just started offering digital titles as well. And you can also subscribe for the digitals for $5 a month. But every penny made goes to us printing more books. So the more money we make, the more books we can put out, and the more indie creators we can help get out there.
Awesome, dude.
It's a really cool thing, and they're keeping indie comics alive. So go and support them. Melter's not doing anything but being a weirdo, so don't support Melter at all. If you can, block Melter and ignore him because he's weird.
Report them on Twitter.
Exactly. And go follow Risey Lee on anything that you can because he's hilarious.
And
But,
at Mrs. Skinny.
And Mrs. Skinny. Go follow Mrs. Skinny because she's the best. So
Let me tell you how the best she is. My wife is actually learning how to letter because she wants to help make my dream a reality.
Nice.
And she's going to be attempting to letter the books that I'm going to be putting out.
That's awesome. Last time I was in a relationship, all that the girl wanted to do was cheat on me. So you're leaps and bounds ahead of me, buddy.
Yeah. I don't know if she, I don't know, man. I think she's better than. I don't know why she married you, man.
Yeah, but Skinny's a lucky man.
Yeah.
But
she didn't have a choice.
Oh,
was it a shotgun wedding?
It was the Glock wedding.
A Glock wedding.
Glock wedding.
Well, I appreciate all you guys being here with us. We're going to wrap this up, and we will talk to everybody later. Thank you all for watching. Everybody in the chat. Hope you all have a good night.